Good afternoon and welcome to Pakistan Today News from our London studio. I'm Chris Taylor. We begin tonight with a major development in the ongoing crisis in the Middle East. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a 10-day extension to his deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The president stated he will delay previously threatened strikes on Iran's critical energy infrastructure until April 6th, citing progress in back-channel negotiations, which he described as going very well. However, Mr. Trump also issued a stark warning, saying he is prepared to unleash hell if a formal agreement is not reached within the extended time frame. Meanwhile, tensions continue to escalate on the ground. The Israeli military has confirmed a massive wave of airstrikes deep inside Iran, targeting weapons production facilities and what it described as command centers in the heart of Tehran. Witnesses reported thick smoke rising across parts of the capital following the strikes, which reportedly involved more than 60 fighter jets. Israeli officials say the operation was aimed at disrupting the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' ability to coordinate ongoing missile attacks against Israeli territory. In a significant blow to Iran's military leadership, the IDF and U.S. Central Command have confirmed the death of Admiral Alireza Tangsiri, commander of the IRGC Navy. According to reports, Tangsiri was killed in a precision strike in the strategic port city of Bandar Abbas. Following his death, U.S. Admiral Brad Cooper issued a direct warning to Iranian naval personnel, urging them to abandon their posts and return home to avoid further targeted operations. For more on the diplomatic and global implications of this rapidly evolving situation, we go to our correspondent James Wood in London.
Thank you, Chris. Here in London, diplomatic activity has intensified as global leaders scramble to contain the fallout from the escalating conflict. Officials are particularly concerned about the stability of international shipping routes and the broader economic consequences. France has reportedly reached out to 35 countries in an effort to form a coalition aimed at reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Analysts warn that without coordinated international action, the crisis could trigger long-term disruptions to global trade and energy supplies. There is also growing pressure on the United Nations to take a more active role in de-escalation efforts.
Thank you, James. Back to developments on the battlefield. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has announced the launch of what it calls Operation True Promise 4, marking the 83rd wave of missile and drone attacks since the conflict began. The IRGC claims it has successfully targeted Israeli military positions as well as U.S.-linked facilities across the region. At the same time, Saudi Arabia has reported intercepting 2 drones in its eastern province, highlighting the increasing regional spillover of the conflict. In Lebanon, the situation is becoming increasingly dire. The Israeli Defense Forces have issued urgent evacuation warnings for several villages in the south, including Sejud, as they expand what they describe as a buffer zone up to the Litani River. Israeli military officials say additional troops are being deployed to counter Hezbollah forces. The humanitarian impact is severe, with the death toll now surpassing 1,100 and more than 1 million people displaced by the ongoing fighting. The economic consequences of the conflict are also being felt worldwide. The effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz by Iran is triggering a significant global shock. Farmers across multiple countries are reporting critical shortages of fertilizers, driven by surging gas prices and disrupted supply chains. With Iran continuing its so-called toll booth strategy at the strait, international markets remain volatile, raising concerns of a prolonged economic crisis. Finally, Russia has called for an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council today, March 27th, to address what it describes as the illegal and immoral escalation of the war in Iran. The move follows reports of joint U.S.-Israeli strikes on residential areas in Qom, which allegedly resulted in the deaths of 6 civilians. While the United States maintains that its strikes are precision-based, international criticism is mounting over civilian casualties and the destruction of cultural sites. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today News. I'm Chris Taylor.